All right, we are coming up on 8 o'clock. So, let's settle in. Let's get comfortable, grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's get back to our book, shall we? Welcome back. This is our 8th night now. We've been going for a solid stretch of reading Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. This one is one of those compilations that just keeps on giving. We've not had an off night yet with this. Every night seems to bring a different theme, a different set of emotions, and experience from the eyes of Walt Whitman. Yeah, I believe it or not, I can actually see the number on this one. The title is short enough that it doesn't get truncated by OBS. But yeah, so it's been 8 on this one, and it doesn't really feel like it. Each of these nights are interesting. None of them really drag. And because it's a cavalcade of different sorts of themes and ideas and emotions, it really just keeps on giving. Let me pull over my chat here. But yeah, so this one has been a joy and continues to be so. We are, I think, a little bit over halfway now. Yeah, we left off last time a little bit over 60%. So we are on the homeward stretch. I don't know how much of this has postscript. We almost always ignore those. But all the same. But, yeah. And last time we saw the end of the retelling, or the thoughts and feelings on the Civil War. And we got into a different sort of mood, a different groove, and a different vibe. We saw a reaction to the passing of Abe Lincoln, which is something that you don't actually get a whole lot of perspective on, really. It was reminiscent of people's reactions to JFK, but it felt profoundly personal. So, I guess you couldn't expect that sort of reaction today from anyone, toward anyone, really, that are in a public role. If a certain Mango were to be off, I don't think even his diehard followers would react in the same way that we see Whitman react to Lincoln, or people reacted to JFK. So I think it's a statement and a testament to the changing times, and just generally a change in society in general. But that edges us dangerously close to being political, and we've just started tonight's stream, so let's not do that, shall we? Yeah. So, we can go ahead and dive back into this reading, because, as I'd alluded to, we have quite a bit yet ahead of us. I expect we'll probably get up to about 12 or 13 sessions on this one before we're finished. So, let's slide over into our reading corner, and let's see what tonight has in store. I think we are picking up at still the same book. This one was, it's hard to keep track, there's so many subdivisions on these. Where are we actually? Good lord, where are we indeed? Old Ireland, there we are. So we are in book 24, continuing through, and it's the Autumn Rivulets. Old Ireland. For hence, amid an isle of wondrous beauty, crouching over a grave, an ancient, sorrowful mother. Once a queen, now lean and tattered, seated on the ground, her old white hair drooping disheveled round her shoulders. At her feet fallen an unused royal harp, long silent. She, too, long silent. Mourning her shrouded hope and air, of all the earth her heart most full of sorrow, because most full of love. Yet a word, ancient mother. You need crouch there no longer on the cold ground with forehead between your knees. Oh, you need not sit there veiled in your old white hair so disheveled. For know you, the one you mourn is not in that grave. It was an illusion. The son you love was not really dead. The Lord is not dead. He is risen again, young and strong, in another country. Even while you wept there by your fallen harp by the grave, what you wept for was translated. Passed from the grave, the winds favored and the sea sailed it. And now, with rosy and new blood, moves today in a new country. The City Dead House. By the city dead house by the gate, as idly sauntering, wending my way from the clangor, I, curious, pause, for lo, an outcast form, a poor dead prostitute brought. Her corpse they deposit unclaimed. It lies on the damp brick pavement. The divine woman, her body, I see the body, I look on it alone. That house, once full of passion and beauty, all else I notice not, nor stillness so cold, nor running water from faucet, nor odors morbific impress me. But the house alone, that wondrous house, that delicate fair house, that ruin, that immortal house, more than all the rows of dwellings ever built, or white-domed capitol with majestic figures surmounted, or all the old high-spired cathedrals. That little house alone, more than them all poor, desperate house, fair, fearful wreck tenement of a soul, itself a soul, unclaimed, a voided house, take one breath from my tremulous lips, take one tear dropped aside as I go for thought of you. Dead house of love, house of madness and sin, crumbled, crushed, house of life, erewhile talking and laughing, but poor house, dead even then, months, years, an echoing, garnished house, but dead, dead. And once again, we get started, and Simba has to join us. I swear, at this point, he just hears me talking. He's like, oh yeah, let's go. This compost. Something startles me where I thought I was safest. I withdraw from the still woods I loved. I will not go now on the pastures to walk. I will not strip the clothes from my body to meet my lover the sea. I will not touch my flesh to the earth, as to other flesh to renew me. Oh, how can it be that the ground itself does not sicken? How can you be alive, you growths of spring? How can you furnish health, you blood of herbs, roots, orchards, grain? Are they not continually putting distempered corpses within you? Is not every continent worked over and over with sour dead? Where have you disposed of their carcasses? Those drunkards and gluttons of so many generations. Where have you drawn off all the foul liquid and meat? I do not see any of it upon you today. Or perhaps I am deceived. I will run a furrow through my plough. I will press my spade through the sod and turn it up underneath. I am sure I shall expose some of the foul meat. Behold this compost, behold it well! Perhaps every mite has once formed part of a sick person, yet, behold! The grass of spring covers the prairies. The bean bursts noiselessly through the mold in the garden. The delicate spear of the onion pierces upward. The apple buds cluster together on the apple branches. The resurrection of the wheat appears with pale visage out of its graves. The tinge awakes over the willow tree and the mulberry tree. The he-birds carol mornings and evenings while the she-birds sit on their nests. The young of poultry break through the hatched eggs. The newborn of animals appear. The calf is dropped from the cow, the colt from the mare. Out of its little hill faithfully rise the potato's dark green leaves. Out of its hill rises the yellow maize stalk. The lilacs bloom in the dooryards. The summer growth is innocent and disdainful above all these strata of sour dead. What chemistry! That the winds are not really infectious. That this is no cheat, this transparent green wash of the sea, which is so amorous after me. That it is safe to allow it to lick my naked body all over with its tongues. That it will not endanger me with the fevers that have deposited themselves in it. That all is clean forever and ever. that the cool drink from the well tastes so good, that blackberries are so flavorous and juicy, that the fruits of the apple orchard and the orange orchard, that melons, grapes, peaches, plums, will none of them poison me, that when I recline on the grass I do not catch any disease, though probably every spear of grass rises out of what was once catching disease. Now, I am terrified at the earth. It is that calm and patient, it grows such sweet things out of such corruptions. It turns harmless and stainless on its axis. It turns harmless and stainless on its axis, with such endless successions of diseased corpses. It distills such exquisite winds out of such infused fetor. It renews with such unwitting looks its prodigal annual sumptuous crops. It gives such divine materials to men, and accepts such leavings from them at last. To a foiled European revolutionaire. Courage yet, my brother or my sister. Keep on. Liberty is to be subserved whatever occurs. That is nothing that is quelled by one or two failures, or any number of failures, or by the indifference or ingratitude of the people, or by any unfaithfulness, or the show of the tushes of power, soldiers, cannon, penal statutes. What we believe in waits latent forever, through all the continents, invites no one, promises nothing, sits in calmness and light, is positive and composed, knows no discouragement, waiting patiently, waiting its time. Not songs of loyalty alone are these, but songs of insurrection also, for I am the sworn poet of every dauntless rebel the world over, and he going with me leaves peace and routine behind him, and stakes his life to be lost at any moment. The battle rages with many a loud alarm and frequent advance and retreat. The infidel triumphs, or supposes he triumphs. The prison, scaffold, garrote, handcuffs, iron necklace, and lead balls do their work. The named and unnamed heroes pass to other spheres. The great speakers and writers are exiled. They lie sick in distant lands. The cause is asleep. The strongest throats are choked with their own blood. The young men droop their eyelashes toward the ground when they meet. But for all this, liberty has not gone out of the place, nor the infidel entered into full possession. When liberty goes out of a place, it is not the first to go, nor the second or third to go. It waits for all the rest to go. It is the last. When there are no memories of heroes and martyrs, when all life and all the souls of men and women are discharged from any part of the earth, then only shall liberty, or the idea of liberty, be discharged from that part of the earth, and the infidel come into full possession. Then courage, European revolter, revoltress! For till all ceases, neither must you cease. I do not know what you are for. I do not know what I am for myself, nor what anything is for. I will search carefully for it, even in being foiled. In defeat, poverty, misconception, imprisonment, for they too are great. Did we think victory great? So it is, but now it seems to me, when it cannot be helped, that defeat is great, and that death and dismay are great. that was an interesting bit of twist. The revolutionary spirit carrying on, the sort of inversion of rebellion and rise of liberty against tyranny sort of shifts positions and locations all through the ages. At this point, it was the trailings and leavings of the American Revolution, and 100 years hence, or thence, I should say, and the encouragement of European revolutions, and the overthrowing of crowns and shackles, of mixed successes. But now, kind of flip it on its head, authoritarianism is a lot more ingrained over on this side of the pond, and we see successful protest and revolutionary style behavior much more frequently over on the European sphere. So these things change hands throughout the ages. Unnamed land. Nations 10,000 years before these states, and many times 10,000 years before these states, garnered clusters of ages that men and women like us grew up and traveled their course and passed on. What vast-built cities, what orderly republics, what pastoral tribes and nomads, what histories, rulers, heroes, perhaps transcending all others. What laws, customs, wealth, arts, traditions, what sorts of marriage, what costumes, what physiology and phrenology, what of liberty and slavery among them, what they thought of death and the soul. Who were witty and wise, who beautiful and poetic, who brutish and undeveloped, not a mark, not a record remains, and yet all remains. Oh, I know that those men and women were not for nothing, any more than we are for nothing. I know that they belong to the scheme of the world every bit as much as we now belong to it. Far they stand, yet near to me they stand. Some with oval countenances, learned and calm, some naked and savage, some like huge collections of insects, some intense, herdsmen, patriarchs, tribes, horsemen, some prowling through woods, some living peaceably on farms, laboring, reaping, filling barns, some traversing paved avenues, amid temples, palaces, factories, libraries, shows, courts, theaters, wonderful monuments. Are these billions of men really gone? Are these women of the old experience of the earth gone? Do their lives, cities, arts rest only with us? Did they achieve nothing for good for themselves? I believe, of all those men and women that filled the unnamed lands, every one exists, this hour, here or elsewhere, invisible to us, in exact proportion to what he or she grew from in life, and out of what he or she did, felt, became, loved, sinned in life. I believe that was not the end of those nations, or any person of them, any more than this shall be the end of my nation, or of me, of their language, government, marriage, literature, products, games, wars, manners, crimes, prisons, slaves, heroes, poets. I suspect their results curiously await in the yet unseen world, counterparts of what accrued to them in the seen world. I suspect I shall meet them there. I suspect I shall there find each old particular of those unnamed lands. Song of Prudence. Manhattan's streets I sauntered pondering, on time, space, reality, on such as these, and abreast with them, prudence. The last explanation always remains to be made about prudence. Little and large alike drop quietly aside from the prudence that suits immortality. The soul is of itself. All verges to it. All has reference to what ensues. All that a person does, says, thinks is of consequence. Not a move can a man or woman make that affects him or her in a day, month, any part of the direct lifetime or the hour of death. But the same affects him or her onward, afterward, through the indirect lifetime. The indirect is just as much as the direct. The spirit receives from the body just as much as it gives to the body, if not more. Not one word or deed, not venereal sore, discoloration, privacy of the honest, putridity of gluttons or rum drinkers, peculation, cunning, betrayal, murder, seduction, prostitution, but as results beyond death, as really as before death. Charity and personal force are the only investments worth anything. No specification is necessary. All that a male or female does, that is vigorous, benevolent, clean, is so much profit to him or her. In the unshakable order of the universe, and through the whole scope of it forever. Who has been wise receives interest. Savage, felon, president, judge, farmer, sailor, mechanic, literate, young, old, it is the same. The interest will come round. All will come round. Singly, wholly, to affect now, affected their time, will forever affect. All of the past, and all of the present, and all of the future. All the brave actions of war and peace, all help given to relatives, strangers, the poor, old, sorrowful, young children, widows, the sick, and to shunned persons. All self-denial that stood steady and aloof on wrecks, and saw others fill the seats of the boats. All offering of substance or life for the good old cause, or for a friend's sake, or opinion's sake, all pains of enthusiasts scoffed at by their neighbors, all the limitless sweet love and precious suffering of mothers, all honest men baffled in strifes recorded or unrecorded, all the grandeur and good of ancient nations whose fragments we inherit, all the good of the dozens of ancient nations unknown to us by name, date, location. All that was ever manfully begun, whether it succeeded or no, all suggestions of the divine mind of man, or the divinity of his mouth, or the shaping of his great hands, all that is well thought or said this day on any part of the globe, or on any of the wandering stars, or on any of the fixed stars, by those there as we are here. All that is henceforth to be thought or done by you, whoever you are, or by anyone, these inure, have inured, shall inure to the identities from which they sprang or shall spring. Did you guess anything lived only its moment? The world does not so exist. No parts palpable or impalpable so exist. No consummation exists without being from some long previous consummation, and that from some other, without the farthest conceivable one coming a bit nearer the beginning than any. Whatever satisfies souls is true. Prudence entirely satisfies the craving and glut of souls. Itself only finally satisfies the soul. The soul has that measureless pride which revolts from every lesson but its own. Now, I breathe the word of the prudence that walks abreast with time, space, reality, that answers the pride which refuses every lesson but its own. What is prudence is indivisible, declines to separate one part of life from every part, divides not the righteous from the unrighteous or the living from the dead, matches every thought or act by its correlative, knows no possible forgiveness or deputed atonement, knows that the young man who composedly periled his life and lost it has done exceedingly well for himself without doubt, that he who never periled his life but retains it to old age in riches and ease has probably achieved nothing for himself worth mentioning, knows that only that person has really learned who has learned to prefer results, who favors body and soul the same, who perceives the indirect assuredly following the direct, who in his spirit, in any emergency, whatever, neither hurries nor avoids death. The singer in the prison. O sight of pity, shame, and dole! O fearful thought, a convict soul! Rang the refrain along the hall. The prison rose to the roof, the vaults of heaven above, pouring in floods of melody, in tones so pensive, sweet, and strong, the like whereof was never heard, reaching the far-off sentry and the armed guards, who ceased their pacing, making the hearers' pulses stop for ecstasy and awe. The sun was low in the west one winter day, when down a narrow aisle, amid the thieves and outlaws of the land, there by the hundred seated, sere-faced murderers, wily counterfeiters, gathered to Sunday church in prison walls, the keepers round, plenteous, well-armed, watching with vigilant eyes. Calmly, a lady walked, holding a little innocent child by either hand, whom, seating on their stools beside her in the platform, she first preluding, with the instrument a low and musical prelude, in voice surpassing all, sang forth a quaint old hymn. A soul, confined by bars and bands, cries, "Help! Oh, help!" and wrings her hands. Blinded her eyes, bleeding her breast, nor pardon finds, nor balm of rest. Ceaseless she paces to and fro. O heart-sick days, O nights of woe! Nor hand of friend, nor loving face, nor favor comes, nor word of grace. It was not I that sinned the sin, the ruthless body dragged me in. Though long I strove courageously, the body was too much for me. Dear prisoned soul, bear up a space, for soon or late the certain grace to set them free and bear thee home, the heavenly pardoner death shall come. Convict no more, nor shame, nor dole. Depart, a God-enfranchised soul. The singer ceased. One glance swept from her clear, calm eyes o'er all those upturned faces, strange sea of prison faces, 1,000 varied, crafty, brutal, seamed and beauteous faces. Then rising, passing back along the narrow aisle between them, while her gown touched them, rustling in the silence, she vanished with her children in the dusk. While upon all, convicts and armed keepers ere they stirred, convict forgetting prison, keeper his loaded pistol, a hush and pause fell down a wondrous minute, with deep half-stifled sobs and sound of bad men bowed and moved to weeping. The youth's convulsive breathings, memories of home, the mother's voice in lullaby, the sister's care, happy childhood. The long-pent spirit, roused to reminiscence, a wondrous minute then, but after, in the solitary night, to many, many there. Years after, even in the hour of death, the sad refrain, the tune, the voice, the words, resumed. The large, calm lady walks the narrow aisle. The wailing melody again, the singer in the prison sings. O sight of pity, shame, and dole! O fearful thoughts, the convict soul! that was a divergence that we don't see terribly often from Whitman. This was more rhyming verse than we've seen really in the entire book so far. So, man of many talents. He can do free verse, he can do basically prose, and now we've got rhyming verse. Well done. Well done. I don't know about you guys, but it is really, really just plain fucking hot these days. So, the gin and tonic hits spectacularly well. Very little cools as well as this. But it is dangerous because I will run out very quickly. All right. Warble for lilac time. Warble me now for joy of lilac time, returning in reminiscence. Sort me, O tongue and lips, for nature's sake, souvenirs of earliest summer. Gather the welcome signs, as children with pebbles or stringing shells. Yeah, on hot days like this, it's you finish up, it's like, that tastes like another. I love that turn of phrase. Put in April and May, the hylas croaking in the ponds, the elastic air, bees, butterflies, the sparrow with its simple notes, bluebird and darting swallow, nor forget the high-hole flashing his golden wings. The tranquil sunny haze, the clinging smoke, the vapor, shimmer of waters with fish in them, the cerulean above, all that is jocund and sparkling, the brooks running, the maple woods, the crisp February days, and the sugar making. The robin where he hops, bright-eyed, brown-breasted, with musical clear call at sunrise and again at sunset, or flitting among the trees of the apple orchard, building the nest of his mate. The melted snow of March, the willow sending forth its yellow-green sprouts. The springtime is here! The summer is here! And what is this in it and from it? Thou soul, unloosened the restlessness after I know not what. Come, let us lag here no longer. Let us be up and away. Oh, if one could but fly like a bird. Oh, to escape, to sail forth, as in a ship, to glide with thee, O soul, o'er all, in all as a ship o'er the waters, gathering these hints, the preludes, the blue sky, the grass, the morning drops of dew, the lilac scent, the bushes with dark green, heart-shaped leaves, wood violets, the little delicate pale blossoms called innocence. Samples and sorts not for themselves alone, but for their atmosphere. To grace the bush, I love to sing with the birds, a warble for joy of returning in reminiscence. Outlines for a Tomb. G.P. Buried 1870. What may we chant, O thou within this tomb? What tablets, outlines hang for thee, O millionaire? The life thou livest we know not, but that thou walkest thy years in barter mid the haunts of brokers, nor heroism thine, nor war, nor glory. Silent my soul, with drooping lids is waiting pondered, turning from all the samples monuments of heroes, while through the interior vistas, noiseless uprose, phantasmic as by night auroras of the north, lambent tableaus, prophetic, bodiless scenes, spiritual projections. In one, among the city streets, a laborer's home appeared. After his day's work done, cleanly, sweet-aired, the gaslight burning, the carpet swept, and a fire in the cheerful stove. In one, the sacred parturition scene. A happy, painless mother birthed a perfect child. In one, a bounteous morning meal sat peaceful parents with contented sons. In one, by twos and threes, young people, hundreds concentring, walked the paths and streets and roads toward a tall domed school. In one, a trio beautiful, grandmother, loving daughter's daughter sat, chatting, sewing. In one, along a suite of noble rooms, mid plenteous books and journals, paintings on the walls, fine statuettes, were groups of friendly journeymen, mechanics young and old, reading, conversing, all the shows of laboring life, city and country, women's, men's, and children's, their wants provided for, hued in the sun, and tinged for once with joy. Marriage, the street, the factory, farm, the home, house room, lodging room, labor and toll, the bath, gymnasium, playground, library, college, the student, boy or girl, led forward to be taught, the sick cared for, the shoeless shod, the orphan fathered and mothered, the hungry fed, the houseless housed. The intentions perfect and divine, the workings, details, aptly human. O thou within this tomb, from thee such scenes, thou stintless, lavish giver, tallying the gifts of earth large as the earth, thy name on earth with mountains, fields, and tides, nor by your streams alone, you rivers, by you your banks, Connecticut, by you and all your teeming life, old dames, by you, Potomac, laving the ground Washington trod, by you, Patapsco, you Hudson, you endless Mississippi, nor you alone. But to the high seas launch my thought, his memory. That took a divergence from what I was expecting. At the beginning of that poem, it sounded a lot more like a condemnation of a rich man who had passed and left nothing behind him. But as it went on, it became more and more about, okay, they were generous with their wealth. Yes, they were wealthy, but they provided from that wealth. And so they were actually missed in the end. Fair enough. Fair enough. There comes a point when wealth with philanthropy is not enough to justify the ends to gain the wealth, but there's a level of honest wealth combined with honest philanthropy that just makes a good balance. We need no trillionaires. We need no billionaires. There are no honest billionaires. You didn't earn that yourself. But millionaires, especially in this day and age, that's totally doable. Out from behind this mask to confront a portrait. Out from behind this bending, rough-cut mask, these lights and shades, this drama of the whole, this common curtain of the face contained in me, for me, in you, for you, in each, for each. Tragedies, sorrows, laughter, tears, oh heaven! The passionate teeming plays this curtain hid, this glaze of God's serenest, purest sky, this film of Satan's seething pit, this heart's geography's map, this limitless small continent, this soundless sea, out from the convolutions of this globe, this subtler astronomic orb than sun or moon, than Jupiter, Venus, Mars, this condensation of the universe. Nay, here the only universe, here the idea, all in this mystic handful wrapped. These burned eyes, flashing to you, to pass to future time, to launch and spin through space, revolving, sidling, from these to emanate, to you, whoe'er you are, a look. A traveller of thoughts and years, of peace and war, of youth long sped and middle age declining, as the first volumes of a tale perused and laid away, and this the second. Songs, ventures, speculations presently to close, lingering a moment here and now, to you I opposite turn. As on the road or at some crevice door by chance, or opened window, pausing, inclining, bearing my head, you specially I greet, to draw and clinch your soul for once inseparably with mine. Then travel on. Vocalism. Vocalism, measure, concentration, determination, and the divine power to speak words. Are you full-lunged and limber-lipped from long trial, from vigorous practice, from physique? Do you move in these broad lands as broad as they? Come, duly, to the divine power to speak words? For only at last, after many years, after chastity, friendship, procreation, prudence, nakedness, after treading ground and breasting river and lake, after a loosened throat, after absorbing errors, temperaments, races, after knowledge, freedom, crimes, after complete faith, after clarifyings, elevations, and removing obstructions, after these and more, it is just possible there comes to a man, woman, the divine power to speak words. Then toward that man or that woman swiftly hasten all, none refuse, all attend, armies, ships, antiquities, libraries, paintings, machines, cities, hate, despair, amity, pain, theft, murder, aspiration, form in close ranks. They debouche, as they are wanted to march obediently through the mouth of that man or that woman. Oh, what is it in me that makes me tremble so at voices? Surely, whoever speaks to me in the right voice, him or her I shall follow, as the water follows the moon, silently, with fluid steps, anywhere around the globe. All waits for the right voices. Where is the practiced and perfect organ? Where is the developed soul? For I see every word uttered thence has deeper, sweeter, new sounds, impossible on less terms. I see brains and lips closed, tympans and temples unstruck, until that comes which has the quality to strike and to unclose, until that comes which has the quality to bring forth what lies slumbering forever ready in all words. There is certainly an art to oration, and sadly indeed, it is not a skill that everyone can really learn. You can cultivate it somewhat, but there is a natural propensity that is, I think, required to be a proper orator. To carry the power of the words on your voice, to really, really let it go. Not everyone can do it. With practice, you can get yourself up to a certain floor, but I think for oration, the sky really is the limit. But to really soar, you need to be born with wings. To him that was crucified. My spirit to yours, dear brother. Do not mind because many sounding your name do not understand you. I do not sound your name, but I understand you. I specify you with joy. Oh, my comrade, salute you, and salute those who are with you, before and since, and those to come also. that we all labor together, transmitting the same charge and succession. We, few equals, indifferent of lands, indifferent of times, we, enclosers of all continents, all castes, allowers of all theologies, compassionators, perceivers, rapport of men, we walk silently among disputes and assertions, but reject not the disputers, nor anything that is asserted. We hear the bawling and din, we are reached at by divisions, jealousies, recriminations on every side. They close peremptorily upon us to surround us, my comrade, yet we walk unheld, free, the whole earth over, journeying up and down till we make our ineffaceable mark upon time and the diverse eras, till we saturate time and eras, that the men and women of races, ages to come, may prove brethren and lovers, as we are. This one had a strong opening, and a timeless opening. The many sounding your name do not understand you. That strikes really close to home. Like, let's be real. Today, many who claim to be of the faith do not live as the faith decrees. And I say that as a rather practicing atheist at this point. We all have our own walks of life. You felons on trial in courts. You felons on trial in courts. You convicts in prison cells. You sentenced assassins, chained and handcuffed with iron. Who am I, too, that I am not on trial or in prison? Me, ruthless and devilish as any, that my wrists are not chained with iron or my ankles with iron. You prostitutes, flaunting over the trottoir or obscene in your rooms. Who am I, that I should call you more obscene than myself? Oh, culpable, I acknowledge, I expose. Oh, admirers, praise not me, compliment not me, you make me wince. I see what you do not. I know what you do not. Inside these breastbones I lie smooched and choked. Beneath this face that appears so impassive, hell's tides continually run. Lusts and wickedness are acceptable to me. I walk with delinquents with passionate love. I feel I am of them. I belong to those convicts and prostitutes myself, and henceforth I will not deny them. For how can I deny myself? Okay, seriously. Every night that we read from this book, I am just more and more convinced that Whitman is a bro's bro. Like, he just can't stop winning. All of his opinions seem to be spot fucking on. They fit to modern sensibilities, for Christ's sake. This man lived 200 years ago, 150 years ago, and I can't find myself disagreeing with him on most things. Really, just great. Some people are just way ahead of their times. Laws for creations. Laws for creations. For strong artists and leaders, for fresh broods of teachers and perfect literats for America, for noble savants and coming musicians. All must have reference to the ensemble of the world and the compact truth of the world. There shall be no subject too pronounced. All works shall illustrate the divine law of indiscretions. What do you suppose creation is? What do you suppose will satisfy the soul, except to walk free and own no superior? What do you suppose I would intimate to you in 100 ways? But that man or woman is as good as God, and that there is no God any more divine than yourself, and that is what the oldest and newest myths finally mean. and that you, or anyone, must approach creations through such laws. To a common prostitute. Be composed. Be at ease with me. I am Walt Whitman, liberal and lusty as nature. Not till the sun excludes you do I exclude you. Not till the waters refuse to glisten for you and the leaves to rustle for you do my words refuse to glisten and rustle for you. My girl, I appoint you with an appointment, and I charge you that you make preparation to be worthy to meet me. And I charge you that you be patient and perfect till I come. Till then, I salute you with a significant look that you do not forget me. I was looking a long while. I was looking a long while for intentions, for a clue to the history of the past for myself, and for these chance I have found it. It is not in these paged fables in the libraries. Them I neither accept nor reject. It is no more in the legends than in all else. It is in the present. It is this earth today. It is in democracy, the purport and aim of all the past. It is in the life of one man or one woman today, the average man of today. It is in languages, social customs, literatures, arts. It is in the broad show of artificial things, ships, machinery, politics, creeds, modern improvements, and the interchange of nations. All for the modern, all for the average man of today. Thought of persons arrived at high positions, ceremonies, wealth, scholarships, and the like. To me, all that those persons have arrived at sinks away from them, except as it results to their bodies and souls. So that often to me they appear gaunt and naked, and often to me each one mocks the others and mocks himself or herself. And of each one, the core of life, namely happiness, is full of the rotten excrement of maggots. And often to me these men and women pass unwittingly the true realities of life, and go toward false realities. And often to me they are alive after what custom has served them, but nothing more. And often to me they are sad, hasty, unwaked somnibules walking the dusk. All right, we've got an ad that is going to kick off in about 30 seconds, so let's go ahead and take a short break. Take the opportunity to stand up, stretch your legs, refresh your drinks, because as always, I think that no one should be subject to ads around here. And advertisements and merchandising should not come between anyone and good literature. So, we'll be back as soon as these complete. Thanks, and hang tight. All right, we are back. And indeed, the last one tasted like another. So, it is a good thing that we only run for about 2 hours on our Sunday readings, most of our readings, because if it was a hot day like this and I kept slamming these down, we might start slurring by the end of the session. Not really conducive to work at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Damn, that's good though. All right, let's continue. We are nearing the 70% mark. We have indeed gotten close a few times. I found as we've picked streaming back up, and I've well, really since we picked streaming up, I unfortunately drink a fair bit more while we're doing this. But on the bright side, my tolerance is coming back. I'm not sure that's really something to be proud of, though. Yeah, well. All right. Continuing on. We're nearing the 70% mark on this book, and I think that's probably a good target for tonight. We might get a little past it, but we'll see. All right. Miracles. Why, who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan, or dart my sight over the roofs of houses toward the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in the bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at table and dinner with the rest, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or of the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new moon in spring. These, with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles, the whole referring, yet each distinct and in its place. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. Every foot of the interior swarms with the same. To me, the sea is a continual miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships with men in them. What stranger miracles are there? Again, we're reminded that Walt just keeps winning. Like, to take joy in all of things, the small and the large, the stranger and the beloved, to see the divine in everything. Like, come on, how can that not just be awesome? Sparkles from the wheel. Where the city's ceaseless crowd moves on the livelong day. Withdrawn, I join a group of children watching. I pause aside with them. By the curb toward the edge of the flagging, a knife grinder works at his wheel, sharpening a great knife. Bending over, he carefully holds it to the stone. By foot and knee, with measured tread, he turns rapidly, as he presses with light but firm hand. Fourth issue, then, in copious golden jets, sparkles from the wheel. The scene and all its belongings, how they seize and affect me. The sad, sharp-chinned old man, with worn clothes and broad shoulder band of leather, myself effusing a fluid, a phantom curiously floating, now here, absorbed and arrested. The group, an unminded point set in a vast surrounding, the attentive, quiet children, the loud, proud, restive bass of the streets, the low hoarse purr of the whirling stone, the light pressed blade, diffusing, dropping, sideways, darting in tiny showers of gold, sparkles from the wheel. To a pupil. Is reform needed? Is it through you? The greater the reform needed, the greater the personality you need to accomplish it. You! Do you not see how it would serve to have eyes, blood complexion clean and sweet? Do you not see how it would serve to have such a body and soul that when you enter the crowd, an atmosphere of desire and command enters with you, and everyone is impressed with your personality? Oh, the magnet, the flesh over and over. Go, dear friend. If need be, give up all else and commence today to inure yourself to pluck, reality, self-esteem, definiteness, elevatedness. Rest not till you rivet and publish yourself of your own personality. Unfolded out of the folds. Unfolded out of the folds of the woman, man comes unfolded, and is always to come unfolded. Unfolded only out of the superbest woman of the earth is to come the superbest man of the earth. Unfolded out of the friendliest woman is to come the friendliest man. Unfolded only out of the perfect body of a woman can a man be formed of a perfect body. Unfolded only out of the inimitable poems of woman can come the poems of man. Only thence have my poems come. Unfolded out of the strong and arrogant woman I love, only thence can appear the strong and arrogant man I love. Unfolded by brawny embraces from the well-muscled woman, love, only thence come the brawny embraces of the man. Unfolded out of the folds of the woman's brain come all the folds of the man's brain, duly obedient. Unfolded out of the justice of the woman, all justice is unfolded. Unfolded out of the sympathy of the woman is all sympathy. A man is a great thing upon the earth and through eternity, but every of the greatness of man is unfolded out of woman. First, the man is shaped in the woman, that he can then be shaped in himself. Again, Walt! You can't stop winning. My man. Brother. What am I, after all? What am I, after all, but a child, pleased with the sound of my own name, repeating it over and over. I stand apart to hear it. It never tires me. To your name also. Did you think there was nothing but 2 or 3 pronunciations in the sound of your name? Cosmos. Who includes diversity and is nature? Who is the amplitude of the earth, and the coarseness and sexuality of the earth, and the great charity of the earth, and the equilibrium also? Who has not looked forth from the windows, the eyes, for nothing? Or whose brain held audience with messengers for nothing? Who contains believers and disbelievers? Who is the most majestic lover? Who holds duly his or her triune proportion of realism, spiritualism, and of the aesthetic or intellectual? Who, having considered the body, finds all its organs and parts good? Who, out of the theory of the earth and of his or her body, understands, by subtle analogies, all other theories? The theory of a city, a poem, and of the large politics of these states. Who believes not only in our globe with its sun and moon, but in other globes with their suns and moons? Who, constructing the house of himself or herself, not for a day, but for all time, sees races, eras, dates, generations, the past, the future, dwelling there, like space, inseparable together. Yeah, exactly. Continuing to prove that there were always people who saw through the bullshit, and there always will be. We just need to take the time to sift through it. I won't say that it's easier or harder now than it was then. It's just different. There are many, many flavors of bullshit throughout all the ages and regions of the earth. And they all take some work to sort through. Others may praise what they like. Others may praise what they like. But I, from the banks of the running Missouri, praise nothing in art or aught else, till it has well inhaled the atmosphere of this river, also the western prairie scent, and exudes it all again. Who learns my lesson complete? Who learns my lesson complete? Boss, journeyman, apprentice, churchman, and atheist. The stupid and the wise thinker, parents and offspring, merchant, clerk, porter, and customer, editor, author, artist, and schoolboy draw nigh and commence. It is no lesson. It lets down the bars to a good lesson, and that to another, and everyone to another still. The great laws take and diffuse without argument. I am of the same style, for I am their friend. I love them quits and quits. Do not halt and make salams. I lie abstracted and hear beautiful tales of things and the reasons of things. They are so beautiful, I nudge myself to listen. I cannot say to any person what I hear. I cannot say it to myself. It is very wonderful. It is no small matter, this round and delicious globe moving so exactly in its orbit for ever and ever, without one jolt or the untruth of a single second. I do not think it was made in 6 days, nor in 10,000 years, nor 10 billions of years, nor planned and built one thing after another as an architect plans and builds a house. I do not think 70 years is the time of a man or a woman, nor that 70 millions of years is the time of a man or woman, nor that years will ever stop the existence of me or anyone else. It is wonderful, or is it wonderful that I should be immortal, as everyone is immortal? I know it is wonderful, but my eyesight is equally wonderful. And how I was conceived in my mother's womb is equally wonderful, and passed from a babe in the creeping trance of a couple of summers and winters to articulate and walk, all this is equally wonderful. and that my soul embraces you this hour, and we affect each other without ever seeing each other, and never, perhaps, to see each other, is every bit as wonderful. And that I can think such thoughts as these is just as wonderful. And that I can remind you, and you think them and know them to be true, is just as wonderful. And that the moon spins round the earth and on with the earth is equally wonderful. And that they balance themselves with the sun and stars is equally wonderful. How much longer is this book? There are a lot of these poems in these, and some of them are very, very short. Okay, we're not too far off from the next book. And then it's a string of very short books. Okay. I see what you're about, Walt. You just want to confuse me. Just want to lead me on. That's how it is. I see. I see you. I see you. Tests. All submit to them where they sit. Inner, secure, unapproachable to analysis in the soul. Not traditions. Not the outer authorities are the judges. They are the judges of outer authorities and of all traditions. They corroborate, as they go, only whatever corroborates themselves and touches themselves. For all that, they have it forever in themselves to corroborate far and near, without one exception. The torch. On my northwest coast, in the midst of the night, a fisherman's group stands watching. Out on the lake that expands before them, others are spearing salmon. The canoe, a dim, shadowy thing, moves across the black water, bearing a torch, ablaze at the prow. O Star of France, 1870 to 71. O Star of France, the brightness of thy hope and strength and fame, like some proud ship that led the fleet so long, beseems today a wreck driven by the gale, a mastless hulk, and mid its teeming, maddened, half-drowned crowds, nor helm nor helmsman. Dim, smitten star, orb, not of France alone, pale symbol of my soul, its dearest hopes, the struggle and the daring rage divine for liberty, of aspirations toward the far ideal, enthusiast dreams of brotherhood, of terror to the tyrant and the priest, star, crucified by traitors sold, star panting o'er a land of death, heroic land, strange, passionate, of mocking, frivolous land, miserable. Yet for thy errors, vanities, sins, I will not now rebuke thee. Thy unexampled woes and pangs have quelled them all, and left thee sacred, in that amid thy many faults thou ever aimedst highly, in that thou wouldst not really sell thyself, however great the price, in that thou surely wakest weeping from thy drugged sleep, in that alone among thy sisters thou, giantess, didst rend the ones that shamed thee, in that thou wouldst not wear the usual chains, this cross, thy livid face, thy pierced hands and feet, the spear thrust in thy side, O star, O ship of France, beat back and baffled long, bear up, O smitten orb, O ship, continue on. Sure as the ship of all, the earth itself, product of deathly fire and turbulent chaos, forth from its spasms of fury and its poisons, issuing at last in perfect power and beauty, onward, beneath the sea, beneath the sun, following its course. So thee, O ship of France. Finished the days, the clouds dispelled, the travail o'er, the long-sought extrication, when lo! Reborn high o'er the European world in gladness, answering thence, as face, afar to face, reflecting ours, Columbia, again thy star, O France, fair, lustrous star, in heavenly peace, clearer, more bright than ever, shall beam immortal. The Ox Tamer. In a far-away northern country, in the placid pastoral region, lives my farmer friend, the theme of my recitative, a famous tamer of oxen. There they bring him, the 3-year-olds and the 4-year-olds, to break them. He will take the wildest steer in the world and break him and tame him. He will go fearless, without any whip, where the young bullock chafes up and down the yard. The bullock's head tosses restless high in the air with raging eyes. Yet see you. But, please, now is not the time for this shit. Where were we? The bullock's head tosses restless high in the air with raging eyes. Yet see you. Oh, for God's sake, 2 of them in a row. Get the hell out of here. All right, let's take a few seconds. See if this will continue. I did ban that one, did it not? Okay, it did remove it. For some reason it's still showing here. Odd. Odd. Yeah, we usually don't get... 3 in one session is actually kind of telling. 2 in quick succession is brand new. Strange that it hasn't... I think Twitch just doesn't know how to delete the message when they came that fast and furious. At least it's not showing on the overlay, which is fantastic, but yeah, let's delete that there. There we go. Get it out of my sight. I'd rather not see it. Anyway, let's continue. We do have some more reading to do tonight. The bullock's head tosses restless high in the air with raging eyes. Yet see you! How soon his rage subsides, how soon this tamer tames him. See you, on the farms here about 100 oxen, young and old, and he is the man who has tamed them. They all know him, all are affectionate to him. See you, some are such beautiful animals, so lofty-looking. Some are buff-colored, some mottled. One has a white line running along his back. Some are brindled. Some have wide flaring horns, a good sign. See you, the bright hides. See the 2 with stars on their foreheads. See the round bodies and broad backs, how straight and square they stand on their legs. What fine sagacious eyes. How straight they watch their tamer. They wish him near them now. How they turn to look after him. What yearning expression. How uneasy they are when he moves away from them. Now I marvel what it can be he appears to them. Books, politics, poems, depart, all else departs. I confess, I envy only his fascination. My silent, illiterate friend, whom 100 oxen love there in his life on farms, on the northern county far, in the placid pastoral region. An old man's thought of school. This feels like it should be a separate poem. Interesting formatting. For the inauguration of a public school, Camden, New Jersey, 1874. An old man's thought of school. An old man gathering youthful memories and blooms that youth itself cannot. Now, only do I know you. O fair auroral skies, O morning dew upon the grass! And these I see, these sparkling eyes, these stores of mystic meaning, these young lives, building, equipping like a fleet of ships, immortal ships, soon to sail out over the measureless seas on the soul's voyage. Only a lot of boys and girls? Only the tiresome spelling, writing, ciphering classes? Only a public school? More! Infinitely more! As George Fox raised his waning cry, "Is it this pile of brick and mortar, these dead floors, windows, rails you call the church? Why, this is not the church at all. The church is living, ever-living souls, and you, America! Cast you the real reckoning for your present, the lights and shadows of your future, good or evil. To girlhood, boyhood, look, the teacher and the school." And again, Walt continues to win. Well-equipped and well-planned public schooling is the single greatest development in modern civilization. It is how civilization has passed from feudalism into the modern era by having an educated populace that is open to everyone with a pulse. It's so fucking important. And the fact that we're backsliding on it constantly in this 21st century is a travesty and a crime of the highest order. Wandering at morn, emerging from the night from gloomy thoughts, thee in my thoughts, yearning for thee harmonious union, thee singing bird divine, thee coiled in evil times, my country, with craft and black dismay, with every meanness, treason thrust upon thee. This common marvel I beheld, the parent thrush I watched feeding its young, the singing thrush whose tones of joy and faith ecstatic fail not to certify and cheer my soul. There pondered, felt I, if worms, snakes, loathsome grubs may to sweet spiritual songs be turned, if vermin so transposed, so used and blessed may be, then may I trust in you, your fortunes, days, my country. Who knows but these may be the lessons fit for you? From these your future song may rise with joyous trills, destined to fill the world. This seems like that it should have been another poem. The formatting is getting a little sketchy here. Gutenberg, what are you doing? What are you doing? Italian music in Dakota. Back at this point, it was the United Dakota Territory. So they hadn't split into North and South Dakota to gain a couple extra Senate seats. No. Nothing so base as that. The 17th, the finest regimental band I ever heard. Through the soft evening air and winding ole, rocks, woods, fort, cannon, pacing sentries, endless wilds, in dulcet streams, in flutes and cornets' notes, electric, pensive, turbulent, artificial, yet strangely fitting even here, meanings unknown before, subtler than ever, more harmony, as if born here, related here. not to the city's frescoed rooms, nor the audience of the opera house. Sounds, echoes, wandering strains as really here at home. Sonnambulas, innocent love, trios with Norma's anguish, thy ecstatic chorus, politutto. Rayed in the limpid yellow slanting sundown, music, Italian music in Dakota, while nature, sovereign of this gnarled realm, lurking in hidden barbaric grim recesses, acknowledging rapport, however far removed. Some old root or soil of earth, its last-born flower or fruit, listens, well pleased. Oh, I just looked. We are indeed past the 70% mark, so we are making spectacular progress. I think we started around 62 tonight, so making a good chunk through this. It helps that, I swear, most of these poems that we're getting through are less than half a page today. It's a very short verse sort of night. With all thy gifts. With all thy gifts, America, standing secure, rapidly tending, overlooking the world. Power, wealth, extent, vouchsafed to thee, with these, and like of these vouchsafed to thee. What if one gift thou lackest? The ultimate human problem never solving, the gift of perfect women fit for thee. What if that gift of gifts thou lackest? The towering feminine of thee, the beauty, health, completion fit for thee, the mothers fit for thee. My picture gallery. In a little house keep I pictures suspended. It is not a fixed house, it is round. It is only a few inches from one side to the other. Yet behold, it has room for all the shows of the world, all memories. Here, the tableaus of life, and here the groupings of death. Here, do you know this Cicerone himself? With finger raised, he points to the prodigal pictures. The Prairie States. A newer garden of creation, no primal solitude. Dense, joyous, modern, populous, million cities and farms, with iron interlaced composite, tied many in one. By all the world contributed freedoms and laws and thrift society, the crown and teeming paradise. So far of time's accumulations to justify the past. Sorry, I had a message come in from on Teams. All right, let's see. We've got about half an hour yet, and this looks like, with the start of a fresh book, we've got, okay, a few of the, this next one is quite a bit longer. We got a couple long ones in this next chunk. Man, even after 8, this just keeps on scrolling down, 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 and down. Oh, and actually, now that I look at this, there is very little or no postscript on this one. So, we can reasonably accurately guess how many sessions we'll have, just based on progress in general. So, we're about 71% or so through tonight, after 8 sessions, and we'll continue on tonight. We got at least another 2 poems in us or so. So, probably, I think the 12 or 13 mark is probably accurate for us. Good to know. Good to plan. All right, continuing on with book 25. Proud music of the storm. Proud music of the storm. Blast that careers so free, whistling across the prairies. Strong hum of forest treetops, wind of the mountains, personified dim shapes, you hidden orchestras. You serenades of phantoms with instruments alert, blending with nature's rhythmus all the tongues of nations. You chords, left as by vast composers, you choruses, you formless, free, religious dances, you from the Orient, you undertone of rivers, roar, you pouring cataracts, you sounds from distant guns with galloping cavalry, echoes of camps with all the different bugle calls, trooping tumultuous, filling the midnight late, bending me powerless. Entering my lonesome slumber chamber, why have you seized me? Come forward, O my soul, and let the rest retire. Listen, lose not, it is toward thee they tend, parting the midnight, entering my slumber chamber, for thee they sing and dance, O soul. A festival song, the duets of the bridegroom and the bride, a marriage march, with lips of love and hearts of lovers filled to the brim with love. The red-flushed cheeks and perfumes, the cortege swarming full of friendly faces, young and old, to flutes, clear notes, and sounding harps cantabile. Now, loud approaching drums, victory! Seest thou in powder smoke the banners torn but flying? The rout of the baffled, hearest those shouts of a conquering army? Ah, soul, the sobs of women, the wounded groaning in agony, the hiss and crackle of flames, the blackened ruins, the embers of cities, the dirge of desolation of mankind. Now, airs antique and medieval fill me. I see and hear old harpers with their harps at Welsh festivals. I hear the Minne singers singing the Minne singers singing their lays of love. I hear the minstrels, gleeman troubadours of the Middle Ages. Now the great organ sounds, tremulous, while underneath, as the hid footholds of the earth, on which a rising rest and leaping forth depend, all shapes of beauty, grace, and strength. All hues we know, green blades of grass and warbling birds, children that gambol and play, the clouds of heaven above. The strong bass stands, and its pulsations intermits not, bathing, supporting, merging all the rest, maternity of all the rest, and with it every instrument in multitudes. The players playing, all the world's musicians, the solemn hymns and masses, rousing adoration, all passionate heart chants, sorrowful appeals, the measureless, sweet vocalists of ages, and for their solvent setting earth's own diapason. Of winds and woods and mighty ocean waves, a new composite orchestra, binder of years and climes, the tenfold renewer. As of the far back days the poets tell, the paradiso, the straying thence, the separation long, but how the wandering done, The journey done. The journeyman come home. The man and art with nature fused again. Tutti, for earth and heaven, the almighty leader now for once has signaled with his wand the manly strophe of the husbands of the world. And all the wives responding, the tongues of violins, I think, O tongues, ye tell this heart that cannot tell itself, this brooding, yearning heart that cannot tell itself. From a little child, thou knowest, soul, how to me all sounds became music. My mother's voice in lullaby or hymn, the voice, oh tender voices, memory's loving voices, last miracle of all. Oh dearest, mother's, sister's voices. The rain, the growing corn, the breeze among the long-leaved corn, the measured sea surf beating on the sand, the twittering bird, the hawk's sharp scream, the wild fowl's notes at night as flying low, migrating north or south, the psalm in the country church or mid the clustering trees, the open-air camp meeting, the fiddler in the tavern, the glee, the long-strung sailor song, the lowing cattle, bleating sheep, the crowing cock at dawn. All songs of current lands come sounding round me. The German airs of friendship, wine, love, Irish ballads, merry jigs and dances, English warbles, chansons of France, Scotch tunes, and o'er the rest, Italia's peerless compositions. Across the stage, with pallor on her face, yet lurid passion, stalks Norma, brandishing the dagger in her hand. I see poor crazed Lucia's eyes unnatural gleam. Her hair down her back falls loose and dishevelled. I see where Ernani, walking the bridal garden amid the scent of night roses, radiant, holding his bride by the hand, hears the infernal call, the death pledge of the horn. To crossing swords and grey hairs bared to heaven, the clear electric bass and baritone of the world. The trombone duo, Libertad forever! From Spanish chestnut trees, dense shade, by old and heavy convent walls, a wailing song, song of lost love, the torch of youth and life quenched in despair. Song of the dying swan, Fernando's heart is breaking, awaking from her woes, at last retrieved, Anima sings. Amina sings, copious as stars and glad as morning lights, the torrents of her joy. The teeming lady comes, the lustrous orb, Venus contralto, the blooming mother, sister of loftiest gods, Alboni's self I hear. I hear those odes, symphonies, operas. I hear, in the William Tell, the music of an aroused and angry people. I hear Meyerbeer's Huguenot. I hear the Prophet, or Robert, Gounod's Faust, or Mozart's Don Juan. I hear the dance music of all nations, the waltz, some delicious measure lapsing, bathing me in bliss. The bolero, the tinkling guitars and clattering castanets. I see religious dances old and new. I hear the sound of the Hebrew lyre. I see the crusaders marching, bearing the cross on high, to the martial clang of cymbals. I hear dervishes monotonously chanting, interspersed with frantic shouts as they spin round, turning always towards Mecca. I see the rapt religious dances of the Persians and the Arabs, again at Eleusis, home of Ceres. I see the modern Greeks dancing. I hear them clapping their hands as they bend their bodies. I hear the metrical shuffling of their feet. I see Again, the wild old Corybantian dance, performers wounding each other. I see the Roman youth to the shrill sound of flageolets, throwing and catching their weapons. As they fall on their knees and rise again, I hear from the Mussulman mosque the muezzin calling. I see the worshippers within, nor form nor sermon, argument nor word, but silent, strange, devout, raised glowing heads, ecstatic faces. I hear the Egyptian harp of many strings, the primitive chants of the Nile boatmen, the sacred imperial hymns of China, to the delicate sounds of the king, the stricken wood and stone, or to Hindu flutes and the fretting twang of the veena, a band of bayaderes. Now Asia, Africa leave me. Europe, seizing, inflates me to organs huge and bands I hear as from vast concourses of voices. Luther's strong hymn Eine feste Berg ist unser Gott, Rossini's Stabat Mater Dolorosa, or floating in some high cathedral dim with gorgeous coloured windows, the Passion Agnus Dei, or Gloria in Excelsis. Composers, mighty maestros, to you, sweet singers of old land, soprani, tenori, bassi, to you, a new bard caroling in the west, obeisant sends his love. Such led to thee, O soul, all senses, shows, and objects lead to thee. But now it seems to me, sound leads o'er all the rest. I hear the annual singing of the children in St. Paul's Cathedral, or, under the high roof of some colossal hall, the symphonies, or oratorios of Beethoven, Handel, or Haydn. The creation in billows of godhood loves me. Give me to hold all sounds. I, madly struggling, cry, fill me with all the voices of the universe. Endow me with their throbbings, nature also. The tempests, waters, winds, operas and chants, marches and dances utter pour in, for I would take them all. Then I woke softly, and pausing, questioning a while the music of my dream, and questioning all those reminiscences, the tempest in its fury, and all the songs of sopranos and tenors, and those rapt oriental dances of religious fervor, and the sweet, varied instruments, and the diapason of organs, and all the artless plaints of love and grief and death. I said to my silent, curious soul, out of the bed of the slumber chamber, come, for I have found the clue I sought so long. Let us go forth, refreshed amid the day, cheerfully tallying life, walking the world, the real, nourished henceforth by our celestial dream. And I said, moreover, haply, what thou hast heard, O soul, was not the sound of winds, nor dream of raging storm, nor sea-hawk's flapping wings, nor harsh scream, nor vocalism of sun-bright Italy, nor German organ majestic, nor vast concourse of voices, nor layers of harmonies, nor strophes of husbands and wives, nor sound of marching soldiers, nor flutes, nor harps, nor the bugle calls of camps, but to a new rhythmus fitted for thee, poems bridging the way from life to death, vaguely wafted in night air, uncaught, unwritten, which, let us go forth in the bold day and write. All right. We probably have time in us for one more. This next one is reasonably long. But before we do, let's go ahead and knock out these ads that are coming up. I actually need to take a moment to attend to some business. So we'll be back in just a few minutes, and then we will push through to the end of the evening. All right, we are back. So, let's go ahead. Let's get through one more poem tonight. We might run a little bit over, but we've committed worse crimes than running a little over time, haven't we? So, let's continue now with Book 26, Passage to India. Singing my days. Singing the great achievements of the present, singing the strong, light works of engineers, our modern wonders, the antique, ponderous seven outvied. In the old world, the East, the Suez Canal. The new, by its mighty railroad, spanned the seas inlaid with eloquent, gentle wires. Yet first, to sound, and ever sound, cry with thee, O soul, the past, the past, the past! The past, the dark, unfathomed retrospect, the teeming gulf, the sleepers and the shadows, the past, the infinite greatness of the past. For what is the present, after all, but a growth out of the past? As a projectile formed, impelled, passing a certain line, still keeps on, so the present, utterly formed, impelled by the past. Passage, O soul, to India. Eclaircise the myths Asiatic, the primitive fables. Not you alone, proud truths of the world, nor you alone, ye facts of modern science, but myths and fables of Eld, Asia's, Africa's fables, the far-darting beams of the spirit, the unloosed dreams, the deep, diving Bibles and legends, the daring plots of the poets, the elder religions. O you temples fairer than lilies poured over by the rising sun! O you fables spurning the known, eluding the hold of the known, mounting to heaven, you lofty and dazzling towers, pinnacled, red as roses burnished with gold, towers of fables, immortal, fashioned from mortal dreams. You too I welcome, and fully the same as the rest, you too with joy I sing. Passage to India. Lo, soul, seest thou not God's purpose from the first? The earth to be spanned, connected by network, the races, neighbors to marry and be given in marriage, the oceans to be crossed, the distant brought near, the lands to be welded together, to worship new I sing. You, captains, voyagers, explorers, yours. You engineers, you architects, machinists, yours. You, not for trade or transportation only, but in God's name and for thy sake, O soul. Passage to India. Lo, soul, for thee of tableaus twain, I see in one the Suez Canal initiated, opened. I see the procession of steamships, the Empress and Genoese leading the van. I mark from on deck the strange landscape, the pure sky, the level sand in the distance. I pass swiftly the picturesque groups, the workmen gathered, the gigantic dredging machines. In one again, different, yet thine, all thine, O soul, the same. I see over my own continent the Pacific Railroad, surmounting every barrier. I see continual trains of cars winding along the Platte, carrying freight and passengers. I hear the locomotives rushing and roaring, and the shrill steam whistle. I hear the echoes reverberate through the grandest scenery in the world. I cross the Laramie Plains. I note the rocks in grotesque shapes, the buttes. I see the plentiful larkspur and wild onions, the barren, colorless sage deserts. I see in glimpses afar, or towering immediately above me, the great mountains. I see the Wind River and the Wasatch Mountains. I see the Monument Mountain and the Eagle's Nest. I pass the promontory. I ascend the Nevadas. I scan the noble Elk Mountain and wind around its base. I see the Humboldt Range. I thread the valley and cross the river. I see the clear river waters of Lake Tahoe. I see forests of majestic pines, or crossing the great desert, the alkaline plains. I behold enchanting mirages of waters and meadows. marking through these and after all, in duplicate slender lines, bridging the 3,000 or 4,000 miles of land travel, tying the eastern to the western sea, the road between Europe and Asia. O Genoese, thy dream, centuries after thou art laid in thy grave, the shore thou foundest verifies thy dream. Passage to India. Struggles of many a captain, tales of many a sailor dead, over my mood stealing and spreading they come, like clouds and cloudlets in the unreached sky, along all history, down the slopes, as a rivulet running, sinking now and now again, to the surface rising, a ceaseless thought, a varied train, lo, soul, to thee, thy sight, they rise. The planes, the voyages again, the expeditions. Again Vasco da Gama sails forth. Again the knowledge gained, the mariner's compass, lands found and nations born, thou born America, for purpose vast, man's long probation filled, thou rondeur of the world at last accomplished. O vast rondeur, swimming in space, covered all over with visible power and beauty, alternate light and day, and the teeming spiritual darkness, unspeakable high processions of sun and moon, and countless stars above, below, the manifold grass and waters, animals, mountains, trees, with inscrutable purpose, some hidden, prophetic intention. Now first, it seems my thought begins to span thee. Down from the gardens of Asia, descending, radiating, Adam and Eve appear. Then their myriad progeny after them, wandering, yearning, curious, with restless explorations, with questionings, baffled, formless, feverish, with never happy hearts. With that sad, incessant refrain, wherefore, unsatisfied soul? And whither, O mocking life? Ah, who shall soothe these feverish children? Who justify these restless explorations? Who speak the secret of impassive earth? Who bind it to us? What is this separate nature so unnatural? What is this earth to our affections, unloving earth, without a throb to answer ours, cold earth, the place of graves? Yet soul, be sure, the first intent remains, and shall be carried out. Perhaps, even now, the time has arrived. After the seas are all crossed, as they seem already crossed, after the great captains and engineers have accomplished their work, after the noble inventors, after the scientist, the chemist, the geologist, ethnologist, finally shall come the poet worthy that name. The true Son of God shall come sing his songs. Then not your deeds only, O voyagers, O scientists and inventors, shall be justified. All these hearts, as of fretted children, shall be soothed. All affection shall be fully responded to. The secret shall be told. All these separations and gaps shall be taken up and hooked and linked together. The whole earth, this cold, impassive, voiceless earth, shall be completely justified. Trinitas divine shall be gloriously accomplished and compacted by the true Son of God, the poet. He shall indeed pass the straits and conquer the mountains. He shall double the Cape of Good Hope to some purpose. Nature and man shall be disjoined and diffused no more. The true Son of God shall absolutely fuse them. Year, at whose wide-flung door I sing, Year of the purpose accomplished. Year of the marriage of continents, climates, and oceans. No mere doge of Venice, now wedding the Adriatic. I see, O year, in you, the vast terraqueous globe given and giving all. Europe to Asia, Africa joined, and they to the New World. The lands, geographies dancing before you, holding a festival garland as brides and bridegrooms, hand in hand, passage to India. Cooling airs from Caucasus far, soothing cradle of man, the river Euphrates flowing, the past lit up again. Lo, soul, the retrospect brought forward. The old, most populous, wealthiest of earth's lands, the streams of the Indus and the Ganges and their many affluents. I, my shores of America walking today, behold, presuming all, the tale of Alexander, on his warlike marches suddenly dying. On one side, China, and on the other side, Persia and Arabia. To the south, the great seas in the Bay of Bengal, the flowing literatures, tremendous epics, religions, castes, old occult Brahma, interminably far back, the tender and junior Buddha, central and southern empires and all their belongings, possessors, the wars of Tamerlane, the reign of Aurangzeb, the traders, rulers, explorers, Muslims, Venetians, Byzantium, the Arabs, Portuguese, the first travelers, famous yet, Marco Polo, Batuta the Moor, doubts to be solved, the map incognita, blanks to be filled, the foot of man unstayed, the hands never at rest. Thyself, O soul, that will not brook a challenge. Of course, we're coming up on the end, and we have crazy drop in connection. It has been a while. We actually have had a very good week or two with very few drops in frames or anything of the like. And tonight, yep. We have good bit rate, but we are dropping frames like crazy. We're almost a minute behind on Twitch. A little bit closer on YouTube, but can't quite stay live on the monitor there. Okay, I think we're past the worst of it. We'll see if it recovers. Here we are. Flip and floop. There we go. All right, that looks better. Where were we? Okay. The medieval navigators rise before me. In the world of 1492, with its awakened enterprise, something swelling in humanity now like the sap of the earth in spring, the sunset splendor of chivalry declining. And who art thou, sad shade? Gigantic visionary, thyself a visionary, with majestic limbs and pious beaming eyes, spreading around with every look of thine a golden world, and huing it with gorgeous hues. As the chief historian, down to the footlights walks in some great scene, dominating the rest, I see the admiral himself, history's type of courage, action, faith. Behold him sail from Palos, leading his little fleet. His voyage, behold his return, his great fame, his misfortunes, calumniators, behold him prisoner, chained, behold his dejection, poverty, death. Curious, in time I stand, noting the efforts of heroes. Is the deferment long? Bitter the slander, poverty, death, lies the seed, unrecked for centuries in the ground. Lo, to God's due occasion, uprising in the night it sprouts, blooms, and fills the earth with use and beauty. Passage indeed, O soul, to primal thought. Not lands and seas alone, thy own clear freshness, the young maturity of brood and bloom, to realms of budding Bibles. O soul, repressless, I with thee, and thou with me, thy circumnavigation of the world begin. Of man, the voyage of his mind's return to reason's early paradise, back to wisdom's birth, to innocent intuitions, again with fair creation. Oh, we can wait no longer. We too take ship, O soul. Joyous, we too launch out on trackless seas, fearless for unknown shores on waves of ecstasy to sail. Amid the wafting winds, thou pressing me to thee, I thee to me, O soul. Caroling free, singing our song of God, chanting our chant of pleasant exploration, with laugh and many a kiss. Let others deprecate, let others weep for sin, remorse, humiliation. O soul, thou pleasest me, I thee. Ah, more than any priest, O soul, we too believe in God. But with the mystery of God we dare not dally. O soul, thou pleasest me, I thee. Sailing these seas, or on the hills, or waking in the night, thoughts, silent thoughts of time and space and death, like waters flowing, bear me inland as through the regions infinite, whose air I breathe, whose ripples here lave me all over. Bathe me, O God, in thee, mounting to thee, I and my soul to range in range of thee, O thou transcendent, nameless, the fibre and the breath, light of the light, shedding forth universes, thou center of them, thou mightier center of the true, the good, the loving, thou moral, spiritual fountain, affection's source, thou reservoir. O pensive soul of me, O thirst unsatisfied, waitest not there, waitest not haply for us somewhere there, the comrade perfect. Thou pulse, thou motive of the stars, suns, systems, that certain move in order, safe, harmonious, athwart the shapeless vastness of space. How should I think? How breathe a single breath? How speak if out of myself I could not launch to those superior universes? Swiftly, I shrivel at the thought of God, at nature and its wonders, time and space and death. But that I, turning cold to thee, O soul, thou actual me, and lo, thou gently masterest the orbs, thou matest time, smilest content at death, and fillest, swellest full the vastnesses of space, greater than stars or suns. Bounding, O soul, thou journeyest forth. What love than thine and ours could wider amplify? What aspirations, wishes outvie thine and ours, O soul? What dreams of the ideal, what plans of purity, perfection, strength, What cheerful willingness for others' sake to give up all, for others' sake to suffer all. Reckoning ahead, O soul, when thou, the time achieved, the seas all crossed, weathered the capes, the voyage done. Surrounded, copest, frontest, God yieldest the aim attained, as filled with friendship, love complete, the elder brother found, the younger melts in fondness in his arms. Passage to more than India. Are thy wings plumed indeed for such far flights? O soul, voyagest thou indeed on voyages like those? Disportest thou on waters such as those? Soundest below the Sanskrit and the Vedas, then have thy bent unleashed. Passage to you. Your shores, ye aged, fierce enigmas. Passage to you, to mastership of you, ye strangling problems. You, strewed with the wrecks of skeletons that living never reached you. Passage to more than India, O secret of the earth and sky. Of you, O waters of the sea, O winding creeks and rivers. O of you, O woods and fields, of you strong mountains of my land. Of you, O prairies, of you, grey rocks. O morning red, O clouds, O rain, O snows, O day and night, passage to you. O sun and moon and all you stars, Sirius and Jupiter, passage to you. Passage, immediate passage, the blood burns in my veins. Away, O soul, hoist instantly the anchor. Cut the hawsers, haul out, shake out every sail. Have we not stood here like trees in the ground long enough? Have we not grovelled here long enough, eating and drinking like mere brutes? Have we not darkened and dozed ourselves with books long enough? Sail forth, steer for the deep waters only, reckless, O soul, exploring, I with thee, and thou with me. For we are bound where mariner has not yet dared to go, and we will risk the ship, ourselves and all. O my brave soul, farther, farther sail, O daring joy, but safe are they not all the seas of God? O farther, farther, farther sail! All right, that brings us to the end of book 26. And that'll be as far as we go tonight. Tonight was a lot of sort of a bit of everything, really. Between Walt being incredibly based over and over again to just having a profound appreciation for different cultures, different histories, those across the sea and those local. It just continues to prove that Walt Whitman was a man out of time. And generally, just a good read. Hi, Simba, right at the end, huh? All right, so this will be where we wrap up for tonight. So let's get out of our reading nook for now. And let's see, we have generally some mixed results when we try to rate out on Sundays, but we will try. So let's see who is reading tonight. All right. Well, we rated over to Caleb yesterday, Ascuris, but he was playing a game. Tonight, he's back to reading 100 Years of Solitude, which, as you may remember, is somewhat provocative, so that might be worth jumping into. But also, Jev is reading. She's been going for about an hour and a half, though, so it might be about, and she usually only has so much uptime. And I think we've been to her relatively recently. Let's see, who else is reading tonight? Cryptid is reading viewer stories again. That could be fun. Oh, this is a new one. I don't... Oh, they've been going for 7 hours, though. I don't know that they're actually there. Let me click on this one and see what's up. I'm not certain. With an uptime that long, I hesitate to raid in. Let me refresh and make sure that these times are right. Alright, Cryptid is still reading. Ands of Avenea. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The old drunk guy. This guy might be might be our sort of people. Let's see. Co-working, writing vibes. Writing, a rerun. Silver Eye. 5 minutes. They're writing. That's German. Yeah, they're still going, but I don't know. Almost 8 hours is a little much for me to be raiding into, just by virtue of it. I don't know how active that is. That's a long stream. Let's see, and then there's there's Jev. There's not as many of us to, there's not enough of us to raid into Honey, because I think she limits it to 5 or more. Black Dragon Tavern Gaming. Storytime, Child of the Prophecy. Oh, interesting. EM is reading. You know what? This is a new one. We haven't rated to this person yet, but they are doing a story time, and that sounds like a good time to me. Let's see if they'll allow us in. Looks like it. All right, so we are going to be raiding into Black Dragon Tavern Gaming. I think they probably do not raid, or do not read all the time, given the channel title, but all the same, it's a good chance to encourage reading on Twitch. So, be sure to give them our very best as we raid over. As always, thank you for joining us in tonight's reading of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. We always stream both to Twitch and YouTube. If you're on the YouTube side, a subscription to the channel and a like on the stream go a long way toward convincing the algorithm to send us new friends. If you're on Twitch, thanks for joining us. We've got a growing community, and this is generally where most of the banter happens. So, a follow is a fantastic way to let me know you like what we're doing, and to get some notifications for when we get started. We have a reasonably stable schedule, but all the same, it's nice to have some external notifications, right? All right, we'll be raiding over to the Black Dragon Tavern Gaming, who is doing Storytime, Child of the Prophecy. Be sure to give them our very best, and until next time, have a wonderful evening. Good night. Roses and thorns or whatever. She built it up like there's these mysteries, but there is no mystery. It's just bad, like it's just not well written. Yeah. So the mystery is in. You gotta be careful. It's like a beloved. Yeah, series. I agree with you. A lot of people, I know a lot of people like it.